Hi, I'm Kristine Matheson. I live on the Gold Coast in Queensland in Australia, and I want to welcome everybody to Earth Day, and I want to share with you a little bit why Earth Day means so much to me. Well, firstly, in 2005 I was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I was told to go away and get my affairs in order, and instead of doing that I actually went to what God created for us and actually earthed myself. So when we talk about earthing myself, I have to talk about the fact that I nourish my body with food from the earth. I nourish my body with the sun. As the earth turns, the sun hits us at every so many hours, and every 24 hours. And then of course we talk about the moon. I did a lot of meditation, and some of the times, very often around the full moon, I do special meditations. But I had to get rid of the subliminal message that I was going to die. And one of the things I would do is very much earth myself. I'd walk down the beach, I'd do a lot of meditation down there, and getting my feet in the sand was beautiful. I'd also go out into other greenery type nature where I'd walk with bare feet. So there was a lot of earthing that happened through that process, and I developed a lot of raw food that would nourish my body in such a way that I became healthy within 5 months. So I have followed that trend now for many, many years, and I've actually educated other people in that regards too. But my main purpose I believe in my purpose in this time in my life is to actually educate others about what I did, because let's face it, chemicals do not help the body to survive, and if they suppress the immune system. And whereas nourishing one's body with nice healthy nutrients like organic raw foods, and I go through processes where I eat 100% raw food, like I did, I stopped doing that last weekend. I had 8 days of 100% raw food. Now I'm back on 80% raw food. I'll probably do that for the next 10 days and then reverse back into the 100% raw food. I mix and match, but I eat most of my food at home. When the restaurants were open before the pandemic, yes, I would go out once a week with my husband and let somebody else prepare a meal for me. But I certainly wasn't into takeaway foods, and I certainly wasn't into going to restaurants that served up rubbish. I don't eat rubbish myself. I haven't eaten rubbish for a long, long time. And I know that if I did, I would be very sick. What I did do for a while there though, and it put me backwards, I actually started putting breads back into my diet that had gluten in it. And so that made me sick and made me, I started putting on weight, and I also got depressed. So one of the things about earthing oneself and eating the food out of the garden, and like we grow our own plants. We have been doing that for a long time. Not everything. We grow lettuces and lots of herbs and some tomatoes and a few other bits and pieces that we actually grow out of pots. And that is very earthing for us too. There's nothing nicer than going into the garden and picking fresh vegetables out of the garden. The smell is an aroma is amazing, and it puts the nutrients into your body if you eat them within straight away. Because let's face it, even when we buy organic foods from the health food stores or from the big department stores that sell them, you don't know how long they've been sitting there for. And if you can get to your markets when they're open again, your fruit and veggie markets, where your farmers markets, these will be a lot fresher too than fruit and vegetables been sitting in a store for a long time. So it's all about nourishing the body. So my purpose is to educate people about this, and get everybody to embrace their abundance in all these areas. Meditation, exercise. Get out into the sun as much as you can, particularly if you live in climates where we do have a lot of sun. We're lucky here in Australia where we have about 9 months of the year where we have beautiful warm weather, and we only have about 3 months of cold weather, and we all whinge when it comes, which is ridiculous really. Whereas there are countries that spend 9 months of the year and sometimes longer in the dark. So wherever you do live in the world, get out there when you can, even in the cold weather. You can get out there and you still can earth yourself a lot by putting your feet in the ground. I mean, I don't suppose it's much pleasure putting your feet in the ground when there's snow, but still take advantage of the sunny times, and take advantage of whatever God sent you to create in your life. And we try to do that in our life. We try to take the best of what we have and turn it into a positive. And you know, with the pandemic that's been going on, it's been very good for me in a funny sort of weird way, because it's really made me to go back within me, to earth me back again 100%, and to really look after myself more than even I was doing before. I mean, I've always looked after myself ever since my cancer, but I actually went through a period when I started putting the bread and everything back in my diet where I went down, and I couldn't work it out for a little while, and then the penny dropped. And so that made a difference, getting rid of that out of my diet and making myself feel amazing again. So Earth Day, do you know Earth Day has been going for 50 years now? How about that? You know, they've been trying to celebrate. And so get out there and do some lovely things too. And, you know, don't throw your rubbish on the ground, for instance. And don't buy things that are in cans and things that are wrapped up in plastic and you know, that actually ruin our earth. We actually ruin our earth. We as individuals of humanity need to really look at what we do to our earth and our planet. Recycle as much as you can, but stop buying those things out of cans and bottles and things like that, where you can make your own in your own kitchen. Make your own lemonade and leave out the sugar. You know, like when I say lemonade, I mean there's plenty of other things that can sweeten a lemonade besides throwing sugar into your lemonade or your soft drinks and your Coca-Colas and all these things that actual fact do a lot of harm to your body. Younger people are getting cancer today. It's absolutely terrible that we're actually bringing out young children born with cancer. Why? Because their parents aren't nourishing their bodies. Children are getting more allergies today. Why? Because their families are not nourishing their bodies. And, you know, so you've got to nourish your body right from day one. Nourish your children's body. Get them used to a very early age. For the first time they put a solid food in their mouth, make it a nourishing food, not something that's out of a can or a bottle. Okay, so I'm going to go because I feel as though I've shared a little bit of my passion and why Earth Day is important to me. So you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the year. I know that the shutdowns in many countries will stop soon and we'll be able to see each other, you know, a bit closer than on a email or a Skype or a phone call. I mean, I miss my mum right now and I really want to see her, and we're kept separate from each other. So love and blessings and abundance to everybody. Thank you so much for listening to me. Goodbye for now.